We all want the same thing.
We all want the same thing.
We all want the same thing.
You need somewhere you can feel safe, and then you can move from there. And if we don't have these places that help people, it's just going to stay the same.
The most important thing that we need to change if we really want to solve our houseless crisis is to get past this idea of us versus them. Poverty is not a result of poor choices. And I could throw a lot of numbers and statistics at you, but I think that the stories of real human beings make the most impact.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I have been a participant of Rose Haven since the 90s.
Hi, my name is Ash. I am a 51-year-old non-binary human.
My name is Liz Starkey, and I'm the development director at Rose Haven.
Touch me, kiss me, keep me alive. 7 minutes in heaven, 7 minutes in heaven.
I left a long-term partner in a different state who had become abusive. I wanted to return home to the city that I love so much, Portland. And I flew in from out of town to go to a domestic violence program for battered humans. And unfortunately, because the flight was late, my bed was given to someone else in need. And I was kind of stranded at the airport, not knowing what to do, because it had been such a long time since I had lived here, and I didn't really know anybody here anymore. And I was super fortunate. The concierge came over and told me that I could sleep in international arrivals until the morning.
That airport employee called us. I explained what it was we offered and said, get them down here.
I was weighed down with, a suitcase full of hurt and sorrow and fear. I was willing to take this step that maybe now was the time that I could get some help and rebuild my life. And that's exactly what I found at Rose Haven. I found people for the first time in my life who actually loved me and accepted me for who I was. People who wanted to help me become the person that I had always wanted to be, but had been prevented from that, from severe trauma and abuse. And so at Rose Haven, they were immediately able to get me into shelter, and from there I went into a long-term hotel room until my apartment was ready. I went to groups there. I was able to get medical care for my autism spectrum disorder and my ADHD, which was just amazing. And what I found at Rose Haven was the ability to accept myself for who I am.
Our paths didn't really cross until about 1.5 years later. I was working on the donation dock, and this bubbly person stopped by with a whole box full of stuff and said, "Hi, I'm Ash. You all helped me so much, and now I want to give back." Most people are falling into addiction to cope with the trauma of poverty.
It's dangerous. There's predators.
Imagine if you had to use amphetamines to stay up at night so you didn't get raped in your tent.
It's a hard life out there, and to be able to go somewhere where you don't have to be like hyper vigilant all the time, you can bring your belongings, you're safe.
When we talk about addiction and access to recovery, it is really important to understand that there is a very small window of time when people are ready to get help.
I was just so lost in my addiction that wasn't anything that I was gonna follow through with at the time. It just took me a long time. I didn't get clean till I was 48. I'm 52 now. But I've learned how to have a good support group, and I've been successful, so almost 4 years of sobriety. If you're out on the streets living that life, like I said, you're in survival mode. You're soaking wet and you've got blisters on your feet and you haven't eaten anything, and people are looking at you funny and treating you some kind of way. And you need somewhere where you can go, literally a haven.
And that is why low barrier centers like Rosehaven are so important, because when people are ready and they don't know where to go, we have to be ready to welcome them with open arms and tell them they're loved and get them connected with those services.
I was blessed to get a job with TriMet doing the safety response team, and they hired me for my lived experience. And I just love helping people and giving them love and saying, like, if I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
There's this misconception that if you build resources, you're attracting people. And the data science simply shows that's not true. There is a huge need in our community. People were already in need living on the streets in Northwest Portland. Places like Rosehaven that offer a safe place to go during the day are literally giving people a place to go so they don't have to be in front of your home or your business, so they don't have to use the restroom on the street, so they can get first aid and not have visible wounds that are upsetting for children as they're walking to school. What we need to be talking about is solutions, because just arresting people or warehousing people, that simply does not work. Moving a person from one side of the street to the other or throwing away their tent, that is not going to be the solution to long-term change.
All beings deserve to have housing. All beings deserve to be happy. All beings deserve to have a chance at a successful life.
Nobody wants to see anybody living on our streets. Everybody wants to see people successful and in housing. And so I think that sometimes, homelessness and poverty can become this really divisive issue, but in the end, we all want the same thing. And if we can just have constructive conversations and talk about solutions, it's going to take all of us actively participating for us to see a difference. And it's going to take all of you using your power, your voice, your privilege to advocate for change. At Rosehaven, we are healing people and healing Portland.
We're healing people and we're healing Portland.
Rosehaven is healing people. Rosehaven is healing Portland.